He hadn't heard a human voice in 9 years, not since the day everything he loved was buried beneath dust and silence. The world had forgotten him. Or maybe, he had chosen to forget the world. But on a cold, windless night, just as the clock struck midnight, a knock echoed through his cabin door. 3 slow knocks. No one came this far. No one survived this land alone. And yet, when he opened that door, everything he believed about loss, loneliness, and love began to change. Stay with me, because what that woman asked him would either heal his broken soul or destroy what little he had left. For 9 long years, Elias Boone lived like a ghost. His cabin stood alone in a stretch of forgotten land, miles away from the nearest trail. The world beyond had moved on. Towns grew, railroads stretched, families laughed, but none of that reached him. Not anymore. Once, Elias had been different. He had a wife, Clara, with laughter that could melt winter itself. He had a son who chased fireflies and called him a hero. But one terrible winter, sickness came. And it took everything. By spring, Elias buried both of them beneath a lonely oak tree. After that, something inside him died too. He stopped speaking, stopped hoping, stopped feeling. Days turned into years. He hunted, ate, slept, survived. But he didn't live. Until that night. The wind had gone still, an eerie silence wrapping around the cabin. Elias sat by the fire, staring into nothing, when suddenly, knock. His body froze. He hadn't heard that sound in nearly a decade. Knock, knock. Slow. Deliberate. Impossible. His instincts screamed danger. Outlaws? Spirits? His mind couldn't make sense of it. He reached for his rifle, stepped toward the door, and opened it. And there she stood. A woman. Alone. Wrapped in worn fabric, her face pale but her eyes strong. A Comanche woman. Her lips parted slightly, her voice barely a whisper. Please, don't turn me away. Elias stared at her, his world colliding with something unfamiliar, compassion. Or maybe, fear. I have nowhere else, she added, swaying slightly. For a moment, he almost shut the door. 9 years of silence had made his heart hard. But then, he saw something in her eyes. Not weakness. Not fear. Loneliness. The same loneliness he had carried all these years. And before he realized it, he stepped aside. Get in. That single decision would change everything. Her name was Ayanna. She barely spoke at first. Days passed in quiet understanding. Elias gave her food, a place near the fire, and distance, because neither of them knew how to trust again. But slowly, something shifted. She repaired torn cloth around the cabin. Cooked meals that carried warmth Elias hadn't felt in years. She hummed soft melodies at night, songs from a world he didn't understand, but somehow needed. And Elias? He started noticing things again. The way sunlight touched the ground. The sound of wind through trees. The feeling of being less alone. One evening, as they sat by the fire, Ayanna finally spoke of why she came. Her tribe gone. Taken by violence, scattered by fear. She had walked for days, guided only by instinct, until she saw the faint glow of his cabin. I didn't know who you were, she said softly. Only that, you were alone too. Her words hit him harder than any bullet. Because she was right. 2 broken souls, drawn together by nothing but emptiness. But healing doesn't come easy. One night shadows returned. Men. Riders in the dark, outlaws who had been tracking Ayanna. They demanded her. Elias stood between them and the door. For the first time in 9 years, he felt something burning inside him. Not grief. Not emptiness. Purpose. You'll have to go through me, he said. The fight was brutal. But Elias wasn't just fighting for survival anymore. He was fighting for someone. And that made all the difference. When the dust settled, the riders were gone. Silence returned. But this time, it wasn't empty. Ayanna looked at him, her eyes filled with something new. You could have let them take me. Elias shook his head. No. I already lost everything once. A long pause. Then he said something he never thought he would again. You can stay. And just like that, the man who had spent 9 years surviving finally began to live again. Sometimes life doesn't send help in the way we expect. Sometimes it comes as a quiet knock in the darkest hour. And if you have the courage to open the door, you might just find the piece of your soul you thought was gone forever. Because even after years of silence, even after unimaginable loss, the heart still remembers how to feel. If today's story touched your heart, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And remember, even a small act of kindness can change someone's entire life. Red Heart.